So settling in for the meditation, excuse me, just getting into a position that's comfortable, but where you feel alert, your back reasonably straight, upright. So you're not slouching, your head balanced comfortably in the center of your neck, shoulders relaxed, and arms and hands just resting loosely. And with your eyes closed, or if you prefer, just sort of half closed, looking downward. And make any little adjustments if you need to your position. Just trying to sit in a way that is comfortable enough that you can really minimize movement. So you can be physically still. Of course, though, if you need to move at any point, if you decide you want to sort of shift the position of part of your body, you can always do so, but see if you can do it mindfully with awareness. And otherwise, just be still without moving. Although if you really feel closely in your body right now, you'll probably notice that parts of your body, areas of your body are moving just by virtue of the fact that you're breathing. So even if you're sitting completely still, you might feel some movement of your belly or your chest or other areas while you breathe in and while you breathe out. So maybe really tune in closely to the sensations of breathing in and out. As best you can, just letting the breath sort of happen in its natural rhythm. So you don't need to control your breath. Just letting it come and go as it will, but feeling it. Feeling in detail the sensations in your body while you breathe in and while you breathe out. And just being with the sensations of breathing. So the aim is not to think about your breath or analyze it, just to feel it. And if thoughts do come up, and you can just recognize that those are thoughts, but then leave them alone. Just kind of let thoughts come and go if they do, without trying to control them, but maybe without engaging in them either. Or if at any point you realize you did get engaged in thinking, kind of carried downstream in the stream of thoughts, might have gotten lost in thoughts for a while. Just if you realize that's happened, then just notice it and then come back to your breath. Letting go of the thinking and everything else and just being with your breath. The breath moves in, breath moves out. Different parts of the body involved in addition to the lungs. Various muscles involved to cause the lungs to expand and then deflate. Just letting the breath come and go. See if you can stay with the breath the whole way through the cycle. So feel the whole in-breath from the start of inhaling right to the end. And then feel the whole out-breath from the start to the end. So sitting in this kind of stillness as an observer. For now, we're just observing the breath. And one way of connecting with this sense of stillness in meditation is to use the mountain image. Probably most of you have experienced this before. So if you like, just as you sit here, just imagine that you're looking at a mountain. Just whatever for you would be a beautiful, majestic mountain. It could be one that you have seen before, have visited even, or that you've seen pictures of. Or you could just imagine one in your mind. Even if you're not good at visualizing, it doesn't have to be a very sort of solid image, even if it's just the idea of a mountain in front of you. Perhaps the peak is visible, or it might be hidden in clouds. Notice if the sides of your mountain are steep or rocky or just gently sloping or covered with trees, perhaps. Notice and kind of sense how the base of the mountain is just massive and rooted in the earth. So looking at or imagining and feeling this massive, majestic, solid presence of a mountain. And then imagine that you could bring this mountain inside yourself. So in a sense that you are the mountain now. Feeling like a mountain. Your head like the peak of the mountain. Your shoulders and arms like the sides of the mountain. Your legs like the base of the mountain. So feeling as if there's a mountain, the mountain has come inside you and you are like sitting here like a mountain. In the sense of just being solid presence. And even though a mountain is solid and massive and unmoving, on the surface of the mountain, there's constant change. as the sun moves across the sky, or even clouds come and go. And so light and shadow change on the mountain. And the weather on the mountain changes day to day, even sometimes minute to minute. Sometimes the mountain is pelted by strong rain or even snow, or sometimes heavy winds, or sometimes just warm sunshine. Throughout the year, as the seasons change, there may be further changes on the surface of the mountain. Maybe in the winter it's covered with snow. And in the spring, as the snow melts, different streams may appear. Greenery starts growing again, leaves start appearing on the trees. In the summer, the mountain may be covered with lush greenery, maybe flowers, other vegetation. And in the fall, if the leaves change color, there may be a big difference in the color of the mountain, from the green of summer to the yellows and reds of the fall leaves. Hour to hour, day to day, month to month, conditions are always changing on the mountain, on the surface. But underneath it all, the mountain is still there. Its essential nature doesn't change. So as you imagine the mountain inside yourself and feel kind of mountain-like, see if you can connect with that sense of sort of being rooted, grounded, and encountering whatever experiences show up for you moment to moment, whether it's sensations or other experiences, thoughts, feelings, whatever, encountering them as just as the mountain encounters the weather. The mountain is just there, an unchanging presence, regardless of what changes on its surface. So noticing how you too can feel that you are also a presence, an awareness that's here, regardless of what changes in you or around you from moment to moment. Sensations throughout your body come and go and change. But you can observe, just like the mountain, in a sense, can encounter the weather. So just noticing, just being with whatever body sensations are coming up moment to moment. And of course, it's not just body sensations that we sort of encounter, that we can be aware of moment to moment. There's other sensory experiences. For example, sounds. You've been hearing my voice and maybe other sounds, maybe particularly noticing them. Specifically focusing in on hearing and noticing how sounds are coming and going. Notice the details that your ears detect. The different variety of sounds, the details about them. You might be noticing sounds come and go, sensations come and go. And if you find the image of the mountain useful, you can continue to imagine that you're sitting mountain-like, encountering these different experiences that come and go, just as the mountain encounters the weather and other changes. Different sounds come and go, sensations come and go, all these things changing from moment to moment. But the part of you that can observe this is always there. It isn't changing. The observer. And if you find the mountain image useful, you could sort of imagine being an observing mountain. And of course, while sensations and sounds are coming and going, you may be noticing thoughts as well. Simply noticing. So the aim is not to try to be thinking, and it's also not, the aim is not to try to not think, or we're not trying to hold on to thoughts or push them away. Just recognizing that if you just sit, again, like an observing mountain, just like the mountain encounters light and shadow and wind and rain, and maybe even people visiting the mountain or animals. Constant change, but the mountain just is there through it all. And notice how, as well, there's you, there's a self, in a sense, a you that can observe, that can be aware. That part of you doesn't change. The you that's observing is the same you that was observing a few minutes ago, and the same you that would have been aware of experiences yesterday or last week or last year or 10 years ago or whenever. Just allowing things to be as they are, observing without trying to control. Just as the mountain encounters various experiences, the mountain doesn't choose or control what shows up. It's just there. So again, if you find the image of the mountain and imagining it inside you, if you find that helpful, throughout the meditation, if you want, just continue to bring that in, connect with it. And just notice how various sensations come and go, sounds come and go, thoughts. No matter what the thoughts are of, what type of thoughts. Actually, you can even notice that there's many kinds of thoughts. Thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, thoughts about yourself, perhaps, or thoughts about people in your life or things that are happening in your life. It might be thoughts in the form of worrying or remembering or planning, or judging or analyzing. And along with the thoughts coming and going, different emotions may go with them at times. Feeling states that also are just coming and going. Again, just like the weather on the mountain, whether it's feelings of sadness or happiness, or just neutral feelings, feelings of nervousness or anxiety, or feelings of calmness. Noticing how thoughts and feelings, just like these other experiences, kind of change moment to moment. Just allowing your experiences to come and go. And observing. Noticing the richness of each moment. So much is happening. Even when we're just sitting still like this and not doing anything. There's actually a lot happening that we can notice in our bodies, in our minds, and all the things around us that we detect through our five senses. If you find the image of the mountain helpful in a meditation like this, an option is to just bring that image in anytime you do a sitting meditation. Or if it's not helpful, that's fine. You can ignore any instructions about it, but just continue to be aware. So maybe now for the last few minutes of the meditation, just sitting with this complete open awareness, or what's sometimes called choiceless awareness. Just being completely open to whatever shows up each moment. Just being with your moment-to-moment experience. Laying out the welcome mat for whatever shows up. Or coming back to it if your mind wanders, if your attention drifts somewhere else or you get lost in thoughts, which is bound to happen, probably, maybe many times. And that's okay. Just each time when you're aware of it, come back to this place of observing. Being like the mountain, encountering whatever is showing up moment to moment. Maybe for the last minute or so of the meditation now, just specifically focusing in on the breath. Being completely mindful of these last few breaths until you hear the bell ring.